Okay. Here's your moment to shine, Kit Kat. Say hi, everybody. Hello, my name is Kit Kat Butler Jackson. Yay. Kit Kat is not amused. Yay. Hi. Okay, you can go down. Oh, you gonna just grab her. Let go. Yeah, excuse our cat.
Oh, so this is how we actually come in?
Okay, look at this. Hey, Moo. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Antoinette. Hey, brother. Hi. Oh. Hey, Rachel. Okay. Hello, Rashidah and Mr. Butler.
That's what Naka just said.
Mr. Butler. We should have went with that. Hope everything's well, Rebecca. It's good to hear from you. Hey, Simone. Oh, my little thighs showing. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Is it 6 o'clock yet? We're going to be timely, so we're going to start at 6. It's really delayed. Let me go put some. I'll be back, y'all.
It's just me for now.
Kit Kat went upstairs. She was like, I'm through with y'all. Okay. There we go. Okay. What? They said it was shared. Aw, someone, hi.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Alyssa. Hey, girl. Alyssa just got married this year, too.
That's what's up.
Love that hoodie, bro.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to start on time because we respect people's time.
Like church.
Amen.
Amen.
It's like 30 seconds. Lisa. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Sophia. Minister Tangi. Hey, Minister Tangi. Aw. Lisa. Hey, girl. Yeah, Lisa's cool. She's good people.
We ain't talking crazy.
No. Whatever. Are you gonna time us now too? Even though we live?
Just as a
We've been practicing trying to keep our timing.
timing is important.
Timing is important.
Time is money.
We know y'all don't want to sit here and listen to us all night. I'm really sad Kit Kat did not want to join in the festivities, but we just got her a week ago, so she hasn't been here that long with us and our family, so it's all good. All right, it's 6 o'clock. Let's get it.
Alrighty, good
What's up, beautiful people?
evening, everybody.
Hey,
Thank
Sharon.
you.
Hey, Sam.
Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 1 of Financial Basics with the Jacksons. So I'm Marcell Jackson. This is my beautiful wife, Rashidah Butler Jackson. Okay. My primary income stream is a project engineer for GE Healthcare. I also have my own resume writing and career business.
Uh-huh.
I'm a part-time instructor at Milwaukee Collegiate Academy, a local high school here, and I'm a math tutor.
And my primary income stream is I am a program manager for a awesome nonprofit here in the city called Secure Futures, where we provide free financial literacy programming to thousands of teens across the state of Wisconsin and parts of Illinois. And my second income stream is I am a driver for Lyft. So I am your favorite Lyft driver. That's me. Yes.
Alrighty. So why I feel this series is super important is we don't talk enough about finances in general. So there's a lot of mistakes that I made and had to bump my head on. But if I had somebody or anybody talking to me a little bit more about the financial basics and having a budget, what we'll discuss today, I would have made a lot less mistakes. So it's really near and dear to my heart for that reason.
Yeah. And for me, it's important for us to talk about this a little bit because earlier this year, I realized that I had more debt than my annual salary. And that is because I made a ton of poor choices when it came to my finances, especially throughout college and my early 20s, because, I just didn't know any better. Plus, I work for an organization where our primary goal is to empower young people, especially, to be financially responsible and financially healthy. Because I don't want those young people to turn into adults like me, where I made a ton of poor choices, and I'm now trying to clean up my mess after all these years of bad mistakes. So, yeah.
Okay, so a little bit about the format of tonight. We'll give you tips about budgeting. We'll share a little bit of our story about it and share our budgets. So feel free throughout the episode to comment, and then towards the end we will take any questions and want to hear from you.
And hey, Chandra, my organization is Secure Futures, and it's one word. So SECURE Futures, one word put together. Sorry if I was talking too fast. Sometimes.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yep. And then one more note is we are not financial advisors, financial representatives. We are not tied to any financial institutions. We are not getting paid for this. We are simply sharing.
Yeah. All right. So, the first thing that's super important about budgets is people don't budget because they really don't understand what budgets are. I know prior to me meeting Marcell, I wasn't a big budget person. I wasn't spending up money and overdrafting my account every week, but I really didn't know where my money was going every week and why I was feeling like I couldn't do the things I wanted to do with my money and I couldn't really save. So a lot of times the two most important things you really need to think about when you're working on a budget is you have to have the desire. So you have to want to do it. You have to wake up one day and say, I'm really tired of having money, of working jobs with an S, more than one, and not knowing where money is going. So you have to have the desire, and you also have to have the discipline. It does take time to sit down and map out where your money is coming from and where your money is going. So the biggest thing to having success with budgeting is desire and discipline. That, like, if you have those two things, you will be fine. I want you guys to really realize that there's no right or wrong way to budget. Marcell and I will show you in a couple minutes, but we have two totally different budgets, and his budget works for him, but it would never work for me. And my budget is probably too simple for Marcell because he has like that engineering brain. So stuff has to be, mapped out differently. But for me, it's very simple. So I challenge you guys to figure out what works for you. When I first started budgeting, I just had a notebook, and every time I got paid, I would write down the amount of my check. And then every time I made a payment on a bill, or I had an expense, or I put gas in my tank, I would just write it down. There are apps that you can use. So two apps that we will recommend trying: Mint, MINT, is a budgeting app. And then there's an app called Every Dollar. DOLLAR, every dollar. There are some banks and credit unions that also offer free budgeting services and applications and things like that. So check with your bank, check with your credit union, and see if they can offer you tools or resources that can help you with budgeting. You can write it down in the note app on your phone. There's no excuse, because any way it goes, there is a way that works for everyone in terms of how you budget your money. The other thing that you have to do when you're budgeting is change your mindset. When I first started budgeting, I only budgeted like my bills. So my rent, my car note, my car insurance. I wouldn't budget when I went to Starbucks. I didn't write that down in my budget or account for that money. I didn't write down when I went to the corner store and got a snack to get me through the second half of my workday. But that stuff has to be budgeted. Every expense counts. All expenses matter. That is my hashtag. All expenses matter. Every expense counts. You have to track where your money is going and what you're spending your money on. And what you'll start to see is, dang, I can't save because I spent $30 at Starbucks last week, and I probably should have cut that in half and saved 15 of those dollars. But you don't know that unless you write that stuff down. And then finally, think of all income as income. Every time you get a dollar in your hand and it's yours to delegate how you spend it, that is income. Borrowing money from somebody is income. You don't have to work a job to get income. Your tax returns, that is a source of income. And you need to be delegating and mapping out where you're going to spend that money anytime you get money that comes into your possession. Okay? So everything is income. track all expenses matter, and know that every budgeting format is not for every person. Okay?
Beautiful.
Go ahead, babe. Thank you. That was good.
Yeah, so I just wanted to start with the definition of budget. So many times when I ask individuals if they have a budget, they immediately tell me that they can't save. So let me give you the formal definition. A budget is defined as an estimate of income and expenditures for a set period of time. So your income, what's coming in, what your expenses are for a set period of time. So whether you're filling out your budget every week, every month, if you're looking ahead, it's just your income and your expenditures. So you should always know where your money is going. So the only way that you can do that is if you track accurately what you spend. So one of the things that I do is I have a zero-based budget. What that means is every single dollar has a name. So down to haircut, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, oil changes. So everything has a dollar amount. If you do your budget and you find this money left over at the end and you didn't do it right for a zero-based budget. So if you have $100 left, maybe that needs to go to saving, or if it's going to entertainment or miscellaneous or given, whatever it might be. But every dollar just needs a name because it helps hold you accountable to what you're spending and where you're spending. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to show you guys my budget really quickly. My budget is simply, I use Google Docs. I use like a Google Drive, Google Doc, and I hope y'all can see it. Can I see it? You gotta hold it still. Okay. You want me to hold it? Is it easier?
And then you want me
to... Okay, so the first thing that I do on the first line is I write down my income. And I get paid twice a month, no matter what. I get paid in the middle of the month and I get paid at the end of the month. But I always still, and I can tell you my check by heart down to the cent, but I always still write it down every month so that I make sure that I can visually see. IG said he can't see it. Ronnie says she can't see it. Okay, we'll try. Hopefully that's better. I can see it now. Okay. So that's one thing that I do. The other thing is, so Lyft, if I drive Lyft once a week, I get paid once a week. So I also jot down Lyft. Sometimes I only drive once a month. Sometimes I drive 4 times a month. But anytime I get paid, I always jot down my Lyft income as well. For my bills, because I get 2 checks, what I do is I go through and I fill in the dollar amounts that I spend for each check. So I know what bills are going with what check. So this first line would be rent. And I don't pay our full mortgage, or this mortgage now. But you know, whatever I put towards our mortgage, that's the first line. Then my phone bill, then one of my school loans, then, you know, if I'm getting my hair done. So any bills that I'm paying with that first check, I write it down here. And then it's simple math. You subtract what you spent on bills from that first check, and that's what you have left over, if anything. Same thing with my second. Okay. Finally, really simple, my budget, this is my budget, y'all. Literally, this is all it is. I write down the bill. I write down the due date. I write down how much it is. I always jot down when it gets paid. This is super important. Unfortunately, we know we pay a bill. We think the money is coming out of our account, and it might take 2 to 3 business days. So I don't spend money out of my bank account until I can look at my budget and guarantee that the money I paid for a bill came out of my account. I also have a note section. This note section is super helpful, especially if you have things like auto pay. Please don't forget, like, I am paying back TFA money from a loan they gave me when I moved to Houston. That is on auto pay. So I know at the beginning of every month that money is coming out of my account. That means that's $50 that I cannot account for because it's gone. It's coming out of that account. Other things that you can use notes for are if you have multiple bank accounts, or if you pay with a credit card versus a debit card. All of that stuff is super helpful for you to write down, just so that you can keep note of it somewhere and go back to it when you need to reference it. And we apologize about the shakiness of it. So yeah, I jot down everything. Hair, and then scroll down a little bit. I also jot down my savings. So, and on our next episode, we'll talk about savings, but Marcell and I have a savings account. And then if you go down a little bit, I have a savings account through my UW credit union. I also have an emergency fund. Those are lines on my budget. Those are items on my budget because I want to make sure that those things get paid every single month. Okay. I hate that. Got played too many times because I forgot to count the... Man, I'm telling you, Shrine. I'm telling you. Pending expenses matter.
All right.
I told y'all this is real fancy. Prepare yourself.
My budget is a lot more colorful because I like colors. So what I do is I actually budget out each check. So I have my pay date here. So first check, another check, how much I got. So these are just numbers that I filled in because someone needed a budget or wanted to see a budget. So also, if any of you want a budget template, I will definitely send it to you. But again, we'll talk about savings next. We'll talk about savings next week. But again, pay yourself first. So savings in there. And this sample. Then it's just expenses. So it's ties, grocery, items, fuel, rent, Verizon cell phone. Then any debts I might pay, haircut, miscellaneous. So trying to make sure that... trying to make sure that I track everything, right? So, and then if something else happens or if I'm paying something else, it's just me reallocating funds. Then it lets me know what's remaining. So what I'm estimating was actual. So things that's variable like fuel, I may not spend $25 every week. So if it's something remaining, then how do I shift those? And this is very good for me. What I do is I actually, on payday, I actually sit down, pay everything, no matter if it's due on the 14th or when. No matter when it's due, I pay it early. And what I love to see is, I don't love to see money gone, but I would like to know that I'm paying everything on time or advance, or I'm paying it the same day I get paid. So it's like, I got it, let me pay everything so I know accurately what's left.
So really that's it. Our challenge to you all, and we would love to hear, like we will stay on and talk to you all for a little while, and I see people are kind of sharing and conversing about their experiences, but I would love for you all to just literally for the next week track every single expense that you have. Get a notebook, create a new note in your phone. Just record all of your expenses, and you'll be amazed at how much money you spend on things where you're like, dude, if I did not spend that money, I could have saved $100 extra this month, or I could have saved $50 extra this month. And again, I definitely want to follow up with people. So again, Marcell and I are not experts. We're working to create a community of where we can have these conversations and be transparent, because we've messed up. You'll see when we talk about our credit scores and when we talk about savings and stuff, you're going to see we made a lot of poor choices. But in going into marriage, we had to really sit down and say, okay, this is you as an individual, this is me as an individual. How do we support each other and hold each other accountable so that we don't bring this into our marriage? And to God be the glory, we were already working on this before we got married. So, God just aligned it so that we were two people that already had this goal and had this desire, and it just happened to work out in our favor. So we are not experts. We don't have it all together. But again, we are happy to share. We will be as transparent as we are comfortable with being, to make sure that you guys see that, like, it's never too early to start. I mean, it's never too late to start. Start today. Start right now. Go in your bank account, look at it, see what you're spending, and then start to make those small changes right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great advice. So hopefully everybody takes that challenge and starts to, if you're not already accurately tracking your expenses and what happens. I know for me, I would like, hey, I don't know where my check went. I spent the money. I don't know like what's happening. So at some point I just got tired of that. And I think you should, so either you can control your money or money can control you. So budgeting, it puts it back into your power. So I didn't show it on the other end of my budget, but it has a tab for February. So what I love to do is look out. So I'm mapping January budget now in December and February, trying to figure out where things are going, because we have to take a proactive mindset with money versus reactive. Because looking at your bank statement, everything has already came out. If you're a little bit more proactive, you're telling your dollars, hey, you could go here, you go there, versus the other way around. So not having that mind, not saying to yourself anymore, I don't know where my money went. It's like, no, I budgeted. I figure out where everything is going. Now, once you budget, you change behaviors based off of it. But yeah, so again, start budgeting if you can. It's just budgeting, just think tracking. I'm just saying, what came in, what left. So it'll definitely blow your mind.
All right, so we have a couple comments here. So that's all we have for y'all for this first episode. Again, we are not here to take up a bunch of time or make it seem like it's a lot more difficult than it is. So we have a couple comments. IG said he's loving this.
Yep.
Thank you. Love you guys. Lots of positivity. Simone. Okay, yep. Please come back and watch.
Yep. Next week.
So IG said, I know. Hey, mama. My mom's online.
Hey, mama.
Emergency fund. Yep, Sam. We'll talk about that next week with budgeting. Again, I do savings and emergency fund. Marcell does it a little different. So, again, we're not the same people when it comes to any of this, which is why I think it's cool that we can do this together and give two different perspectives. But yeah, definitely. Color coding on point.
Thanks, Mom,
so IG said your spreadsheet looks intimidating. Does it ever overwhelm you? It overwhelms me, IG.
No. So this has been very, literally when I started my budget, it was me writing down on a sheet of paper everything. So from there, it started to go to Excel and different versions of it. So it's a lot of, this is the engineer in me. It's a lot of tools and things and rules and stuff that you can make in Excel. So it doesn't overwhelm me at all. What I like to do is just kind of classify it. So you see, I had a debt section, I had a savings section, I had expenses. So it's not overwhelming in that regard. For me, it's a little bit more detailed of where my money is going. So I could bucketize and say, hey, I'm spending about this much in debt a month, about this much I'm saving, this much is expenses. So it actually just helps clear some things up for me. So,
and Excel is cool because it does the math for you. So with my Google Doc thing, it doesn't I have to do the math, which is fine, I don't mind. But with Excel, you plug numbers in and you can set up formulas so that it does the deduction, it does the addition, it does what you tell it to do. So that's always super helpful with Excel. Jessica's trying to get us to sell. We're not.
No. We said in the beginning we're not selling y'all.
Let's talk about tips for individuals whose expenses may nearly outweigh their income. Oh, good. Okay, so here we go. Blessing to the Johnson. Oh. Okay. So definitely, I think that's a great question. What I would say to that person is everything that you're spending an absolute need? So at this point, is it the need of food? Is it the need of shelter? Is it the need of transportation getting you to and from your destination? If they cannot justify everything that they're spending money on and say that it's a need, they need to adjust what they're spending money on. And so that's the first thing I would say is just tell them to make sure. The other thing is, you heard Marcell and I, 4 income streams, 2 income streams. There's always another way to make money. He teaches at MCA once a week. He tutors once to twice a week. So it doesn't have to be I drive Lyft whenever I have time. So it doesn't have to be a demanding additional income source, but there's always a way to make more money on the side. And there's tons of creative and unique ways to do that. Yep. So that, with his resume writing business, he works when he wants to work. I drive when I want to drive. So it's not, if you have a family or if you have children at home, you can still find ways to make it work. So those are the first 2 things without knowing the specific situation. And oftentimes that's hard because you feel like if you're budgeting, you can't enjoy life. Mm-hmm. But I think for me, at this point in my life, I want to be comfortable. And then we can party and travel and do all, but right now, when Marcell and I were planning our wedding, there was a travel ban. There was no traveling because we had to pay for a wedding. And we like to travel. Our whole relationship is centered around traveling. We were in a long distance relationship for numerous years, but we had to say, we can't travel. We can't go out to this event. We can't do these things because we want a house, because we want a wedding, because we want all these things. So that's what I would say. Any recommendations on tax preparers that are knowledgeable with business? So we go through Darius Weddington.
Darius actually watching. I seen it.
He is watching right now. So Darius, if you're still watching, go ahead and plop your website and stuff there. If not, I can come and share it. But Darius Weddington, young Black guy. He has a wife. He's wonderful. He's amazing. He's been doing our taxes for many, many years with both our personal and our business. And Darius is fabulous. So we will recommend going to Darius Weddington, supporting a small business, young entrepreneur, and he is on it. Like, I trust Darius with my life when it comes to my taxes. I truly do. Awesome job. Yep, Darius right there. Awesome job, guys. Thanks, Darius. Okay. See, he's proud of us. That means we did good. Start couponing. Yep, so Mama, next week we're going to be talking about saving, and we'll talk about couponing. I'm not the expert. My mom is actually probably better at couponing than me. But definitely next week when we talk about savings, we're going to talk about all the ways to cut corners, because I'm the queen of saving. Marcell is probably the spender between the two of us. So like Jessica, when you were talking about like clothes and money and food and all that type of stuff, like Marcell is that, he's that spender. And I'm just like, we don't need no new clothes. I'm still wearing stuff from high school. Like,
budget for
I don't play that. Budget for it. Yeah. Okay, if you got it. See, if you don't got it, you can't budget for it. So she, okay? Engineer, nonprofit. Is all I'm gonna say. Okay. All right. So I don't think we have any more questions or comments that I see. So we are going to let you guys go. Like I said, we didn't want to keep you guys long, but we just wanted to create a space to kind of share some things that work. If you want the budget template that Marcell shared, or if you want me to share mine, it's super simple. Just let us know and we'll definitely share them with you. I don't have Messenger, so y'all got to be patient, because that means I have to log on to my Facebook to actually see the messages, but we will send them. And then please stay tuned for our next episode, where, like I said, we're going to talk about spending. If there's things that we didn't talk about in this episode that you would like us to talk about in the next one, or things we didn't address, please let us know in the comment section, and we'll be sure to try to follow up. We love you guys very much. And what's coming up next? You want to tell them, babe?
Yeah, so next episode 2, we'll talk about Let's Save, how we save. We saved, paid cash for our wedding. We just got married in July of this year. It was like, no, we're not going into debt for a wedding. So we can tell you about some things that we did to help us save there. We also have a credit score episode coming on. I have a whole credit testimony. It's about how we got it to go, but we increased our credit score hundreds of points. So there. We'll also talk about wants versus needs. So even what Rashidah alluded to earlier about the other person who's, income might be hitting their expenses, that's more of a conversation of wants versus need, making sure that you're classifying those correctly. And then debt, attitudes, and goals. So we'll share a little bit about what our goals are when it comes to debt, and then just having a different mindset when it comes to money overall. So those are the episodes you can look forward to.
So, yeah, YouTube. I was thinking about just doing a YouTube and then sharing it. I don't know. I guess we can. We like live because we like to just be able to talk to y'all while we're recording. But I guess YouTube is more helpful because it can be shared. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll just record it on YouTube and then share it for people to see. And maybe I can just post the link here. But again, if you want it, just inbox us or something and we can attach it and send it to you. I see a lot of people commenting, but it's a lot to keep up with. So if you just message us directly on Facebook, we can attach them or send them to you. So I think you can save the video to your phone before you post. Oh, okay. Well, we can talk about that then. Just because so all-knowing. So we'll share. That's what I'm saying. We'll go record it on YouTube and then share it to you guys. Oh, you can save it up. Oh, we can save this video and upload it to
perfect.
YouTube.
Let's do that.
Okay, we'll figure that out. All right. Happy Kwanzaa, people. I meant to say that when we first started. It's the second day of Kwanzaa. So for all my celebrators out there, happy Kwanzaa. It's Kujichagulia self-determination. And what there's no better way to show Kujichagulia and define for yourselves and name for yourselves and create for yourselves than to be financially sound. Economics is going to be the game changer when it comes to the liberation and the growth and revolution for our people. So definitely, let's get on this money train in 2018. Hold us accountable as we will hold you accountable. We love you guys. Marcell's going to go get me some sushi now because I'm hungry. He's going to brave that cold Arctic. But no, we don't see any more comments or questions. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Our village and our support system is the best. And we truly, truly mean that. So yes, get on the money train, Sam. All right. Love y'all. Peace. Be good, be safe, be warm. And come hang out with us for the Ujamaa Kwanzaa event on the 29th at MCA. You can check my page. I shared the flyer about it a little while back. Okay, what's your question, Jessica? Go ahead. No, y'all sit here and wait on Jessica, who should be asleep right now because she's not feeling well. But okay.
All right, patiently waiting, anticipating this question. Oh, Mario, hey Mario.
Do y'all love me?
Bye, Jessica.
More than I can put into words, Jessica Butler. If so, how much? I just told you. All right, love y'all. Please share this if you liked it.
Yep,
comment.
Exactly.
Let us know how y'all liked it. If you hated it, we want to know that too, because we don't want to waste our time if it's not benefiting people.
Be real.
Be real. We need realness. So, all right, y'all. We're out of here. Thank y'all.
Peace. Thank y'all for joining.
All right.